I gained 12 kilos of body fat and got hollow cheeks, not by losing weight, by gaining weight. And no, it wasn't just muscle mass. I haven't been to the gym in 4 years. If you're trying to get lean to look better, you're doing one of the biggest looksmaxxing mistakes there is, and in this video, I'm going to prove to you why. The brutal truth is 99% of you guys watching this video do not have properly developed craniofacial bones. So what do you need to do then? You need to focus on building that foundation of your craniofacial bones before you focus on revealing them by losing the weight. So you cannot reveal something that was never built in the first place. This is me in December 2024, 82 kilograms. You can see no hollow cheeks, horrible angularity, horrible skin, asymmetry, a below average looking guy. This is me now, 95 kilograms. That's 13 kilograms heavier. Look at the hollow cheeks, look at the angularity, look at the skin. Everything has improved drastically. If you don't already know who I am, I'm brother of Moog, and I had arguably the best natural looksmaxxing transformation in the shortest amount of time done after puberty. I changed my eye color, I fixed my asymmetry, I grew 4 inches after puberty to 6'4". I fixed my overbite and shifted my jaw forward. I fixed severe acne and skin damage. I expanded my palate naturally. I raised my zygomatic bones upwards and outwards. I grew out my hair 3 times faster than average. I completely transformed my eye area, fully transformed my brow ridge, went from high set eyebrows to low set eyebrows. And I'm not the only guy achieving results like these. I have 30, closing in on 40 guys in my one-to-one coaching program who are achieving even better results following my proven framework. My client Nick grew a full inch post-puberty within only 3 months of joining my program. He's 20 years old, and within 1 week of joining my program, he transformed his sclera. Within 4 weeks, his teeth became snow white. Harvey went from average looking to getting scouted by modeling agencies. Thomas completely transformed his eye area and his jaw. Notice the under eye. This transformation is so impressive that it looks like he got surgery. Max had this transformation within 40 days. My client here had this transformation within 60 days. Mark expanding his palate naturally without any palatal expander. Some of my clients improving and fixing their TMD issues. Every single client of mine improving their skin. Even more of my clients transforming their hair. All these results were achieved naturally without any peptides, steroids, surgeries, or modern treatments. This is the most impressive part of my transformation. I did something no one else has done. I gained weight instead of losing weight to get hollow cheeks. There are 4 important aspects that made it possible for me to gain 13 kilograms of body fat and get hollow cheeks. And I'm going to be explaining how it works and how you can implement them. So number 1 is raw fat appearance on the body compared to cooked toxic fat appearance on the body. And number 2, you need nutrients to remodel and grow craniofacial bones. Number 3, 80% of the body's cleansing power comes from fat. And number 4, I'm going to be explaining what bloating is and how to permanently fix it. Here's the first and probably the most important aspect to understand. Not all body fat is the same. When you eat a cooked toxic diet, the fat becomes watery, inflamed, poorly structured, and soft. And that obviously affects how it appears from the outside as well. This is why most people who gain weight on a toxic diet look puffy and bloated. The fat doesn't integrate properly, it just sits there inflamed. There's so many studies, even mainstream studies, confirming this statement that processed diets leads to inflammation, which again leads to poor fat structure. But this is not the same. It's a complete opposite when you eat real raw foods. Raw healthy fat integrates into the body as a firm elastic tissue. It binds with fascia and connective tissue. It becomes structural, not floppy. It creates that dense, firm look, even though you weigh more. And that's one of the main reasons why this is possible in the first place. At 82 kilos in December 2024, I was eating a cooked animal-based diet, and even though that diet is better than what 99% of people eat, I still had that soft, bloated, and inflamed look. But now at 95 kilos, 13 kilograms up, I have a more lean, structured, and developed look. And most people, most scientists, mainstream studies would say this is completely impossible. But once you understand how the appearance of raw fat is the complete opposite of cooked toxic fat, you'll understand and you'll also see the changes happening in real time. Now I'm going to show you the most important looksmaxxing study ever conducted, and no one is talking about it. From 1932 to 1942, Dr. Francis Pottenger Jr. conducted a 10-year experiment on over 900 cats across multiple generations. This study proves why gaining weight on a real raw diet improves your appearance and looks, while doing the opposite, eating a cooked toxic diet will destroy your facial structure. The cats fed raw meat and raw milk had perfect physical development. Large skulls and thoraxes, meaning bigger and more robust frames. They had broad faces with projected maxillas and orbital arches. That means high forward-grown cheekbones and well-defined eye sockets. They had broad and well-deformed dental arches, meaning wide palates and perfect bites. And they had large and long bodies, meaning they're fully developed. Perfect facial structure and development just from eating real raw foods. Now, here's what happened to the cats that ate cooked meat and pasteurized milk. The cooked food cats developed severe degeneration that worsened over each generation of cats, meaning smaller builds, bones smaller in diameter, meaning stunned frames, and disproportionate bone growth. Some had hind legs much longer than the forelegs, and variations of facial structure similar to those of human beings, meaning facial recession. So these cats literally ended up malformed. And it got even worse. Sterility, meaning permanent inability to reproduce, became so common with the cooked food cats that they had to use the raw fed cats to breed with the cooked food cats to even continue the study. This is the exact same pattern we see in humans today, and it's the same reason I started degenerating when I ate a cooked animal-based diet in late 2024, and one of the biggest factors to why I was able to fix both my health and my looks by switching to a real raw diet. When you starve yourself to get lean, you're doing exactly what cooked food did to those cats. Because you have to understand, without over-exaggerating now, 99% of you guys watching this video are severely malnourished. Because again, analyze and think for yourself. Have you ever, over a long period of time, had real, raw, bioavailable foods? No, you have not. And that's obviously shown in your craniofacial bones. Because you are recessed and malformed, literally. Because you don't have the nutrients necessary to remodel and grow your craniofacial bones. And obviously there are other factors that also play a role. But nutrition and diet is one of the biggest factors why you look the way you do. And while you now think I'm crazy for eating raw foods, I want you to think and analyze for yourself again. If you go to a high-end restaurant, what do they serve there? Steak tartare and carpaccio, which is literally raw meat. And then you have sushi, which is literally raw fish. You have ceviche, you have oysters, which is also completely normal. So most of you guys have already tried and tested raw foods before. In many countries and cultures, still today, there are people that drink raw milk, and it's very normal in countries like Russia. And then you can analyze again for yourself. There are a lot of beautiful people in Russia and Eastern Europe. What's the reason for that? Because many of them eat real, raw, bioavailable foods like raw meat and raw milk. And that's obviously shown in their craniofacial bones. If you want the full guide explaining the diet and nutrition principles I used in my transformation and the same principles that 30 plus guys in my one-to-one coaching program are using to their advantage, DM me the word diet on Telegram. Before we go further to the next point, I just want to logically break down for you guys. Here's what happens when you restrict real, raw, bioavailable nutrients. Number one, your body prioritizes survival over structural development. Number two, minerals get leached from your bones. Number three, facial fat might deplete from your face, but bone structure doesn't improve. So you have to focus on improving your craniofacial bones before you ever think of losing the weight. Here's the third reason why gaining body fat is essential. 80% of the body's cleansing power comes from raw fat. Raw fat serves as the body's primary detoxification substance. Raw fat holds superior binding power with lipophilic toxicants, including heavy metals, industrial solvents, and synthetic chemicals. These toxins are stored in the body's fat tissue. So when you eat raw fat, it finds these lipophilic toxins in your body and binds to them, which will prevent them from further damaging your cells. So the body uses 50 to 200 molecules of fat to harness a single atom of mercury. And mercury is a heavy metal. That demonstrates the significant fat requirement for proper detoxification. The lymphatic system mobilizes these fat-bound toxicants towards elimination pathways, primarily through intestinal excretion and transdermal secretion via the skin. This is why gaining clean fat on raw, bioavailable foods allow for deeper and more comfortable detoxification. The new fat binds to stored toxins and carries them out of the body. So without adequate fat consumption, toxins remain lodged in the tissue where they continuously poison cells and compromise organ function. If there isn't enough body fat to store toxins in, they will go into vital tissue like the bone marrow and brain, which are mostly made of fat. So fat is a protective layer against industrial toxins. It's so important because of the modern toxic world we live in. You need fat to protect yourself. You have to understand that your body will always prioritize survival. So if you're full of industrial toxins, lipophilic toxicants, your body will always prioritize dealing with that over, for example, developing and remodeling of craniofacial bones. Let's break it down logically. Less fat means less ability to comfortably detox, which means more toxins, and more toxins means more inflammation. More inflammation means worse looks and appearance. More healthy raw fats means higher and better ability to detox, which means less toxins. Less toxins means less inflammation, which means better appearance and looks, which again, all of this leads to better skin, better structure, as well as, in my scenario, one of the biggest factors to why I was able to clear and change my eye color. So without the raw healthy fat binding with the industrial toxins and heavy metals, I would have never had any chance of clearing and changing my eye color. And to the last point of the video, bloating. Bloating is not fat. Bloating is toxicity shown externally. When you eat toxic processed food, your body reacts with inflammation because it's protecting you from the toxins you're ingesting. Same concept. What happens when you sprain your ankle? It swells because the inflammation is protecting you from further damage in that area. Same thing, same concept is with your whole body when you're ingesting toxic processed foods. It swells. And part of that swelling process is shown as bloating externally. What else happens when you eat toxic processed food? Water retention and lymphatic congestion, which means you will look even more bloated. On a real raw healthy diet, you don't bloat because you're not ingesting toxins. There's no carcinogens, there's no heavy metals in real raw foods, which happens when you process your foods. And cooking your food is processing your foods. There's no debloat formula or some magic pill that will debloat you permanently. You have to fix the root cause. You have to fix the problem internally to see the result externally. Leanness will only look good and be sustainable once you've established the foundation. And the problem is, most people are too toxic to stay lean and be healthy and be good looking. And that's the difference between me and all the other looksmaxxing gurus. They tell you to starve yourself, to leanmaxx, but I tell you to nourish yourself, detox properly, and build that proper foundation before you ever think of leaning down, and leaning down the right way. Sooner or later, you will realize everything you've been told is backwards. So the question is, will you follow mainstream advice and get ordinary, boring, horrible results? Or will you follow a proven pathway to get extraordinary results the same way I transformed myself and the 30 plus guys in my one-to-one coaching program? If you're ready for full one-to-one coaching where I analyze your current situation in an assessment analysis, and from that analysis I make an individual plan tailored to you, your problems and your needs for you to grow taller, completely fix your health, and completely fix your looks and appearance, you can DM me the word MOOG on Telegram or on Instagram to apply to join my program.